Hello, everybody. I hope everybody can see me. I'm doing this in StreamYard for the first time. I know we tried that once before and it didn't work. So let me know if you can see and hear. Please. That would be good. All right. I am just new to StreamYard, so testing this out. And it looks like it's live. All right. See in here. All right. Awesome. Awesome. So I'm doing this because we're going to have a special guest in a couple weeks, and I want to make sure that that everybody can see everything and it works. So if we have bumps along the way, that's okay. I hope everybody's okay. I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare live chat. We do this every Monday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And I literally just got home from the airplane. So I got home like 10 minutes ago. And so that means the hearts are still there because I did not call Verna to see how to take them off. Anyway, next time. All right. I am going to go back up to the top. And yes, you guys did hear me correctly. We are going to have a special guest on the 30th, setting that up. And you'll get to see a video next week that will preface that. And I'm excited for that. So that's pretty good. Anyway, so I hope all is well. I'm going to start at the top. If you haven't been here before, how this works is we go through the comments. There's a lot of hellos and highs at the beginning, and then we get into discussion topics. If you want to ask a question or if you want to share something that happened, homestead related, then that is, put it in the comments. We'll talk about it. And then partway through, I have a topic of discussion, and it's pre-planned. So you got to wait until the middle to find that out. All right, I'm going to start going here. If you would like to tell us where you're from and what you're growing, that is always fun to see. So here we go. I see Steve. Wait a minute. We had like 7 likes earlier. Who stole 3 likes? Demand you put them back? Uh-oh. That might be YouTube being weird. Verna's here. Oh, by the way, hi, Steve. Verna's here with a little wrench, and she catches the bad guys. If you would like to learn how to grow food, animals and plants in small spaces, she's the person to go to. She grows a lot of stuff in her apartment. So check out her channel. All right. Hey, because I don't know who stole them. Oh, come on. Probably YouTube, as no one stayed. Yeah, it's YouTube. And Verna's on there giving likes. Interesting, Steve. Well, I don't know. Maybe they weren't ready for the thing to start yet. Now we're ready. Uh-oh. Steve said I'm going to have to pull out my long underwear. It's a mere 52 degrees, heading towards 41 degrees. It is not that here. We are going to get back into the 90s later in the week because, I don't know, because it's October. It should be fall. Yeah. Verna says it's 52 dropping down to 44. Wow. Hey, Feather Connections Homesteads here. Hi, Kelly. She says, hi, guys. I'm here. Welcome. And remember about in the morning. I don't know what you're talking about, Verna, but you may be talking to someone else, so that's okay. All right, into where we can hear. Awesome. I am glad that you guys, that this is working. Orlando's here. Hello, first time watching. Hello. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Go ahead and let us know where you're from and what you're growing or what you're hoping to grow, and we can help you out. So this is the setting here is pretty casual. We like to help each other out, and we always have a good time. Yeah. Everybody saying hi. Hey, Buster's here. Hi to all. Hi, Buster. And Gigi's here. I have to say how your name is said, so I need to say it right. And oh my gosh, you're waving. You're waving. I'm waving back. Welcome. All right. JJ's here. Hi, everyone. Hi, JJ. Welcome. And internet's cutting in and out again for Kelly. Anybody else having that issues? All right. And G is having lots of emojis. They don't all show up on my end. I don't know what they are, but we'll say hello. We'll say hello. Dawn's here. Welcome, Dawn. Were you first? Because I didn't see it, but I also wasn't here when you were beginning. Good evening from South Central Illinois. Hubby is installing the new control board in the furnace, so we have heat tonight. Man, yeah, that's a good thing. How did your tomatoes turn out? Did you catch it all before the frost or freeze? Yeah. Welcome. Welcome, Andy Rabbit. Andy Rabbit says hello. Welcome. Yeah, everybody's saying hi. And Don says number one, like, I thought you might be. PJ's here. Hey, PJ. Pigs, goats, baby cooney piggies born Saturday night. Oh my gosh, how many? What is an average litter for coonies? I know they're a smaller pig, but I don't know how litter size is affected or is not affected by that. So yeah, pretty cool. Absolutely, congratulations. Hey, Ed's here. Hi everyone. I made it. I was making quail egg candles. Ed, you're on it. I've started that. I have gotten to the point of the wax, so I haven't done the wax yet. But dyeing them, I figured out how to do that pretty well. All right. And from Central Ohio, growing dormant peppers inside. The rest of the plants are going dormant outside. Awesome. Yeah. So I bring my peppers indoors every year. Not every year. I wanted to do it every year. I did it for the first time last year because I had the green stock and it was vertical planter. It's on wheels. It was all peppers. I just wheeled it into my screen and porch. I did learn that it needs to be further away from the window, but all the ones on the non-window side survived and started growing so much faster. So excellent. And Dawn says it'll be around 25 tonight. It was 45 last night. Been running the fireplace to oven to heat up the house since the furnace control board was taken out from power outages. Oh my gosh. Dawn, we need to do a video. Okay, there's a thing you can make out of a bunch, out of a what are those little candles called? Little tiny candles that are like that big, and they're really cheap. And like a flower pot, terracotta flower pot. You put that inside. You have put terracotta flower pot around it, and that can heat a room. So that would, maybe I'll make one of those and do a video at some point, because that's really easy. And those little tiny, it's like the candles people get from pumpkins, like the Halloween pumpkins. I can't think of what they're called now. Tea lights, the tea light candles, the little ones in the little metal tray. Yeah, those can heat a room. So I recommend, I'm sure there's videos out there on how to do that. I haven't made one yet. And actually I haven't used it. I know how. I have made them to test out how they can be used. I haven't had need to use them, so I haven't really used them. All right. And JJ said, I hope you did a video on the quail egg candles. I think he probably did. And Ed is going to be doing a course on Quail University. And I don't yet have an affiliate link for that, but I do have an affiliate link for Quail University. So if you haven't done that yet, use my affiliate link, and it is awesome. It is so much information. It's really great. So Ed is doing a course for that, for crafts, for quail crafts. And then I am doing a course for aviaries, raising quail and aviaries. So that is in progress, and there you go. And there's other things coming up too. Hey, Ed's gonna put it down. All right. Erica's here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Erica. Welcome, welcome. And yeah, so Buster, yeah, thank you. See, he says, Katrina, loved your video today. It showed some great views. Yeah, if you guys didn't check out the weekend review this week, I suggest checking out. It's a little different than my regular weekend reviews. It's mostly like hanging out at my parents' area of, where I grew up. And so, yeah, that's the areas that I grew up with. And it's really great. There's going to be, so tomorrow's video is going to be the eclipse. So I did go up to Oregon to visit my parents and see the eclipse. We got clouded out for the first part and a little bit like kind of chunked, but we did get to see the complete ring of fire for a very short time. But we saw it. My video is not the greatest, but it's still pretty cool to see. So that's going to be the video for tomorrow. And then we went hiking. Well, it's more like a walk along a river. And there was a bunch of otters. There's 4 otters. And I know that's not homesteading. I know that's not my usual stuff, but it's fun. And I'm a wildlife biologist by trade. So there's going to be a video showing the otters. There's 4 baby otters. I don't know how old but I thought that one was bigger and it might be mom, but then I looked again. I'm like, no, that's the same size. And they were pretty small. So there's 4 babies playing around. So that's going to be a video as well. But yeah, it's much different than here. It's much more spacious. It's much, the air feels cleaner. Like it smells cleaner. It feels cleaner. I know there's more fires up there too in the summer, but it's there's so much less pollution, so much less people. It's great. So anyway, audio issues, my usual problems. Oh, Verna, I don't know why nothing else is on here. Hopefully it's not bad. Yeah. Dawn says growing 5 different tomatoes, a shishito pepper, bok choy, lots of lettuce, peppermint, basil, and microgreens hydroponically inside. Awesome. Awesome. Have you used your shishito pepper yet? I grew that one year and it was just like, it was just okay. People go wild for it. And I just thought, well, this is a waste of space. I like the hot peppers. And maybe that's why it's very green tasting. So I want to know your opinion and how you use it if you like it. And people say you blister it, on a pan and use it that way. Yeah. Verna says took me 3 meals to eat the big tomato. Had 3 more large ones, but gave them away. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of tomato. If you guys didn't see her lives and her shorts, she had like this tomato like this big, like a little knobby one. Not little, big knobby one. Yeah. 6 piglets. PJ, that is awesome. That is awesome. And Dawn says, oh, Katrina, yes, hubby covered the tomatoes, saved them, and I processed a bunch of them yesterday. Still lots more on the vine. That is awesome, Dawn. What do you need him to do? Because we can do a shout out. For those that don't know, that weren't here, yes, last week, her husband overheard me say something about covering her tomatoes, and he's like, okay, I'll do it. It was funny. Yeah, Verna's saying wonderful, PJ. Yeah, to the piglets. That is awesome. Awesome. People are saying hi. JJ says, I'm doing repairs this fall and winter. All plants have to take care of themselves or die. Oh, that's funny. PJ says that's been my motto this year too. Yep. Yep. Tea light candles. Thank you, PJ. And tea lights and terracotta pots. Verna says, yep. Yeah, that's definitely something that I think people should know. And again, this tea light candle is like this like same candle that people put in jack-o'-lanterns with the metal bottom and the it doesn't have to be tea light, but it's just easy and cheap. And then terracotta pot is like the cheapest ceramic, non-glazed pot you can get, and put that over. And um, I would check that out um, in a time when you don't need it. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Can someone tell me whether or not my affiliate link for Quill University actually shows up as a link? Because I'm using StreamYard for the first time, and I want to make sure that links show up as links. Thank you. Yeah. So Don says, I don't need my fireplace will heat half the house. I got it because we had power out for 2 weeks and it does not need any electric, nor does the oven. Okay, there we go. That works. But it's good to have that knowledge base, at least for other people who might not have that. Because, like, I know a lot of places in California, you're not allowed to put wood burning anything in anymore. And I have issues with that because I understand, yes, it pollutes. Yes, it's too many people in one space to pollute. However, emergencies happen. And as we saw last winter, some people just outside of LA in the mountains outside of there, they were stranded and people died. So, yeah, I would say that's heat is something important to figure out. Heat and snow removal if you're in a snowy area. Yeah. Ed says from the videos I've seen, tea light and pot will not heat a room. I've had it heat up. I've done it before, and I've had it heat up, and maybe it won't heat like a large room. Maybe you need more than one. I don't know. It's worth trying. It's worth experimenting with safely, so you don't burn down your house. Right? Yeah. Kelly says, oh, I made like 100 quail egg candles the last couple weeks. That is awesome. Did you make any black and orange ones? And maybe throw in some purple, because I think people will be interested in those colors this month anyway. Make some red and green ones for Christmas. Oh, Dawn says the control board blew because power went out and on a storm this summer. Okay, so it's kind of like it didn't have a surge protector, or like its surge protection didn't work or something. Wow. Well, at least you're getting it fixed now. Andy Rabbit has a great find. Great find today. I was at the feed store. The guy next to me was buying some of the tubs of cow Monroe's. So I asked if he had any he wanted to get rid of. He says, yes, I have around 20 or so. So you're talking about those big kind of rubber or plastic tubs that you can grow things in? That's awesome. That's awesome. She says, I said, I'll take them for you. He said, I'll load them up tomorrow and bring them into town for you. Oh, that's awesome. The universe to win. Anybody else think so? Yeah, planters for next year. That's what I figured. Still new in the box from when we bought them years ago. That is helpful. I know I have a backpacking sleeping bag. I got a women's size, and I really shouldn't have, because if I have my feet, no one sleeps with their feet like this, right? You sleep with your feet like this. But if my feet are like this, then it comes up to here. So I have to not sleep on my back. But I have a pretty low temperature sleeping bag for backpacking, and it's amazing how great they are. Yeah. Oh no, so Dawn, she's talking about, I think she's talking about like is it the mineral lick type, not mineral, like mineral. I can picture it in my head, but I don't remember what it is. So maybe she'll tell us. It was cloudy here, Verna says. Yep. Yeah, the mineral like tubs. Yeah. Okay. Yes, absolutely great deal. Absolutely great deal. Hey, Silver Creek Aquatics is here. Howdy, howdy, y'all. Welcome. Bob says hi, folks. Welcome, Bob. Now you saw the eclipse as well, right? Who else here saw the eclipse? I saw some of the comments on the shorts that I made. Hopefully where you were, it wasn't cloudy. And hopefully you had your glasses to see them. I'll show you what I did just because I have them and I just brought up eclipse. So these glasses only last 3 years. So they're good for the next eclipse, the next total eclipse, which is in April. But pretty much after that, you just throw them away, and that's because the silver something that's in the lens is it degrades. So yeah, so there's the glasses. Put them up, and you can look at the sun. So they're very dark. You can see they're very dark. Something that a coworker of mine so sweetly said is, "Oh, you know, they have those welding goggles at Harbor Freight. You should get those, and they'll do good." And yeah, people have the welding helmets, and they do great. And you know, you can watch it with that. But I didn't realize, bought 2 packets of 2, headed up to Oregon, did not open them until I got up there, put them on. I'm like, well, I'm glad we're not relying on this. So I looked it up, and they're darkness level 5, and for an eclipse, you're supposed to have darkness level 17 or 14. Yeah, 14 or higher. And so that would not have been very smart to wear. But what I did is I tore part of the glasses. So there was 2, right? There was 2 like this. And I tore them off, and then I used painter's tape and taped that on top of the lens so that that was my filter. So that works if you have a small lens. If you have a bigger lens, like a big camera, which I don't have, then that does need a bigger filter. But you don't need to buy a filter for a little camera like that unless you really want to. Like I used my GoPro, and then I did take a few pictures with my regular PowerShot, but I just used this. So anyway, I thought I'd show you that. So who else saw it, and how was it for you guys? Because you'll get my story tomorrow. Except for it was somewhat cloudy, and we did end up seeing the ring of fire, which is really good. Ring of fire means that the moon was totally in front of the sun, and we could see the full ring of the sun behind it. Yeah. All right. Silver Creek sending out duckweed. All right. Don says there was no eclipse or comet. Comet? Was there a comet too? To be seen here due to rain and dark clouds all day. Isn't that sad? Yeah, we went down, and we got to because where my parents are is about 45 minutes out of the total ring of fire. My dad chose to stay at the house, and he saw it okay from the house, but it wasn't the total thing. And he did get some clouds too. But actually, he just looked where my mom and I went. We drove south about an hour, just north of La Pine, and we actually pulled over in a parking lot that we were like the third car there. We went there. We went so early after all the traffic from 2017, that total eclipse. We're like, well, let's get there super early, and we did. We got there really early, but that's okay. And it was somewhat clear. It was totally clear before the sun came up, and then the clouds started coming in, and then we'd have the sun, and it's like, oh, we're gonna miss it. And we saw the clouds coming from the south, and they're like going, and there'd be like little blue splotches. And my mom was like, she told a story when they came back. They went on a vacation years ago to Australia, And I guess on the way back, they had the screen on the back of the seat in front of them on the airplane, and there was a a teenager next to them who kept on trying to go like this to make it bigger, and it wasn't a touchscreen. And so she's like, I wish we could just go like this to those blue areas. And so we tried and it didn't work. We weren't serious about it. Yeah. All right. Who else? Let's see. Those that watch your chat afterwards will know. It's okay. I will try and put those in. Actually, I think they're already in the description. So if you didn't see any of the links that I'm talking about, they'll be in the description. I think that one's already in the description. Thank you. Andy Rabbit says the ones he was buying are pretty blue color. I'm hoping they're the same color. Cool. Yeah. I like blue. My house is blue. My house's color's name is Crisp Morning Air. That's what it says on the paint can. Oh boy. Silver Creek says, if you like hot, try chili pekins. I have chili pekin. One of my friends that I met at the Heirloom Expo many years ago, he gave me chili pekins, and they're not. I mean, it's good. It's a good flavor. I don't like spicy for the sake of spicy. I like spicy with flavor, and chili pekin is a good one. So those that don't know, it's like a little tiny berry. It's a chili, but it's like a little tiny berry, and it grows in Mexico, and it has it's a perennial plant, I believe, in that area. But yeah, I have had them. It's good. They are tiny little red mouth grenades. Yeah. I just haven't grown them yet. I think I tried to grow them one year and it didn't come up. I haven't tried it for several years. Yeah. Oh, Verna's tomatoes, 1 pound, 4 ounces. Oh my gosh. And the biggest and 3 were 11 ounces each. I only gave 1 red one away, gave a small green one away. Wow. Katrina, or this is from Dawn. Katrina, I don't eat any hot peppers. You blister shishito peppers red, and they are sweet. So when they're red, not when they're green. Okay, I did it wrong. But mine is 3 weeks from seed and just starting to flower. I'll feed some to the quilts too. Awesome. Hey, Bob has lockdown tonight. 34 from 44. All right. Incubated. Rest were not growing. All right. Good luck. Verna says they don't warm a room, but they will warm a small area. Okay, so maybe it needs to be clarified. We're talking about the tea light and the flower pot. That they'll warm a small room, maybe a bathroom. Yeah. Okay. And they say it does show up as a link. And Dawn says my rooms are like 1625 or larger. A tea light candle won't heat them. Yeah, I don't think it's just one candle. I think it's multiple candles that you put underneath, and you could have multiple pots too. But if you have a fireplace, then you don't need that. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Silver Creek. Quill U link confirmed to work. Good. And you have to have a larger terracotta pot that has 5 or more tea candles under it, Verna says. Yeah. And Dawn says little buddy heaters on propane are made for indoor backup heat too. That's good. Bob says we put pinquat in vinegar or pecan. Is that the same one? In vinegar to make a hot sauce as an alternative to Tabasco. Is that chili pecans? Yeah. Wow. That's cool. Chloride mixed with water to heat up a frozen water bowl or tub for animals to eat out of. I do not know. I do not know the answer to that. Maybe someone here does. Oh, can't use propane in an apartment. I think she's talking about it, one that's made for indoor and maybe doesn't have the off gassing. It's not called off gassing. The exhaust. I don't know, but I would make sure you know that before you use it, because if you use propane indoors and you don't have a vent, then that could be bad. Yeah. Silver Creek says you put it in a bottle, shake it up, and it heats up. I think it's calcium chloride. One does. JJ says way back in the day we used coal and garbage in an incinerator built into the house. Even had a coal chute. Wow. Yeah, that's bad for the air. But it warms you. Silver Creek says it's the same calcium substance that they use to add calcium to food products such as milk. I don't know. Yeah. Coal stings worse than wood. I'm sure it does, JJ. Got clown feet. I don't know what we're talking about with clown feet. It's okay. Don says, when we tore out the 2 furnaces, we went 2 weeks, -55 degrees. The fireplace and oven work good. I have whole house surge protector. They do not work on brownouts. How interesting. Interesting they don't work on brownouts. Wow. I'm glad you're staying warm. And Bob was saying to Andy, we use the lick tubs in the greenhouse. They are sold with a molasses mixture. Okay. Dawn says, I've used propane in a hotel room. I use propane in the house. Who's going to stop me? I would just make sure you are not killing yourself, because it does, the carbon monoxide gas is not great to breathe. Yeah. All right. And Silver Creek says, I saw it, watched it wearing a welding hood, was clear skies, no glasses here. I do it redneck style. It's those last you more than 3 years too. I mean, it's a little more expensive than these cardboard ones, are like $3. But yeah, I think that's great to use that. I'm glad you're able to see it. That is awesome. And I didn't watch really YouTube while I was gone, so hopefully you had some shorts or something. I don't know. You have to put it underneath the welding. I don't know how that would work, because aren't the welding helmets like curved? I don't know how that would work. Any clouds to notice, plus in the wrong area. Oh, Dawn, you used a Coleman cook stove in a motel room? No. You need ventilation. Bob says Eclipse was pretty much right over us. Made a shadow box. Ain't no special glasses around here. I remember making a shadow box when I was a little kid. You do the shoe box with the foil and the pin prick. Yeah. What was kind of neat is that because there were clouds, because there was clouds over part of it, we could actually see it, part of it with our eyes, because you couldn't see it in the glasses because the clouds were in front of it. And so we were able to see part of that with our eyes. So that was kind of cool. But just because the cloud cover was dense enough. Yeah. Silver Creek says, it was crazy. It looked like being in my greenhouse while I have 75% shade cloth on it during the summer. Yeah, so what you're talking about is when the moon goes over the sun, it gets dimmer, basically. We didn't have too much effect like that because we already had clouds. So we're already kind of dealing with the clouds going in front of the sun and coming back and going from the sun and coming back. So it wasn't as noticeable as it was with the total eclipse. The total eclipse, I mean, it just all went to dusk, but that was completely covering. This one still had a ring there, so yeah, but yeah, it does. Ed says didn't notice it here at all. Didn't even get darkish here. Yeah, and JJ says your house is cold during an outage if steam rises when you pee. Just saying. Yeah, JJ. At that point, you need to pee just to warm your pipes. Oh my goodness. Um, Silver Creek says, plus the shadows were doubled when it very first started. I didn't even know an eclipse was happening until I saw my shadow doubled. Then I knew something was off, so pulled out the welding mask. Yeah, for some reason, there wasn't a big deal. Like, I remember 2017, and like everybody was traveling to the path of totality, right? And this is a annular eclipse, and it has the full ring around it, and there was hardly any hype about it, which is very interesting. I find it very interesting. Don's laughing at JJ. I got up this morning and told hubby it was cold. It was a cold nose morning in here until I got the fireplace turned on. Oh, Silver Creek says no ring of fire here. It made a waning crescent. I mean, it crossed quite a bit of the continent, and then you people had not the full eclipse, but partial for quite a ways. Yeah. Andy Rice says it was too cloudy here to even try to see. Yeah, we were almost giving up, and then it kind of we were able to see it. So yeah, someone was in that parking lot from Portland, so that was like 3-4 hours away, probably 4 hours, and he's like, I really wanted it to happen. Yeah. And Dawn says, I saw good pictures of the Ring of Fire eclipse. Yeah, I mean, that's the good thing, is that somebody took good pictures. Even if it's not you or me or whatever, then somebody took good pictures. And there was actually a live, NASA did a live event for that. Dawn, we have too many outages here. Generators are the only way to run heat. Yeah. Sirkik says the coolest thing was the shadows through tree leaves. All the shadows were in the shape of the eclipse, so you could watch it from the shadows. Yeah, I have not this one because we were in a parking lot, but I have experienced that during a different eclipse. Yeah, it's awesome. Ed says, Don JJ, try having to use a porta potty on your front porch because your bathroom exploded. Ed, story time. What did you do? What did you do? And Don also has a whole house generator. Because then I got adopted by ancient beings from Sargassa, Omicron. I don't know. They said I lost my memory after that. Oh boy. Amor Salon, Amor Salono. If I said your name wrong, let me know. I glad got to see it. I will have to see it on video somewhere. Hugs to you. Yeah. So I will have a video out tomorrow that will show it. It's not going to be the most amazing video. I will say that other people's videos will probably be better. However, it's what I observed, and you guys get to see it. Yeah. So welcome, by the way. Welcome. Silver Creek's laughing. And just getting mail today. So I'm wondering if someone was sick. Anyway, JJ says, yuck, Ed, but yeah, been there, done that. Have the refrigerator magnet? Okay. Oh, have the refrigerator magnet. Got it. All right. Don says, why did your bathroom explode? I want to know too. I have a luggable loo that fits under a potty stool on legs. Kept it from the first camper. That might be handy, right? Yeah, Silver Creek, Verna, you will learn abbreviations from Verna, and I don't know that one. Oh, I think it's just freaking died. Like she's laughing. I think that's what it is. I learned these things from Verna. Ed says it happened Thursday, Friday. Oh, Thursday. Friday insurance sent a crew out. Now my bathroom is in a dumpster. Oh, it just happened? But you didn't say how. It's the how part we want to know. Oh, JJ says, Don, hubby is putting one in this week. He sold my one burner stove to his friend. All right. All right. Are there mouth to grenades and impossible to kill? Silver Creek, you live in a drier, in a warmer climate than I do, I think. Do you get winter? Because we don't get like real winter, but it gets like down to 22 degrees is I think the coldest has gotten so far. I have a feeling we're going to have a repeat winter from last year. This is just a feeling I have. It's not based on anything, but I can say it and you guys can say, hey, yeah, or no, you're wrong. Yeah. Yeah, just freaking dies, as in laughing. JFD. Erna Dictionary. Um, organized by when to use it. Burned one of those plants with a flame weeder, and it came back even bigger and produced 3 times the amount of fruit. That is awesome. Yeah, we like to grow plants that want to grow. That's a good thing. JJ said you should know better than to flush fireworks to Ed. Oh boy. Okay, Dawn. That's where I went wrong. So no, never eat shishito peppers green. And that's what I had seen people doing and all of that. And so maybe I'll try them again. I know I generally like peppers better when they are completely ripened, but yeah. No, I burn my pepper plants once they hit a couple feet tall and then let them come back. It's insane. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Ed, no Taco Bell. Um, Andrea says, "Good luck with lockdown hatching, Bob." I agree. Um, Silver Creek says, "No way down. Those tannins, though, bitter face for hours. Bitter. Did you dry them first? Are you talking about the chili pecans? Because if you dry them first, then it's I don't remember it was being bitter. Yeah, that might be the secret, or I just might make it up right now. Um, JJ. Oh, Dawn says putting in what? A generator? Yes. I think that's what she's talking about. You will wish. Oh, yeah. Maybe, huh? You could only. Britta says to Silver, you could always send one to her. Silver Creek says, oh, my quail finally ended their molt with a 28% crumble and are starting to lay again. Woohoo! Congratulations. I have not even checked on the quail since I got home. I haven't had time. Manuel assures me that everybody's okay and that Ravioli the rabbit has stopped spilling her water everywhere. So there we go. Silver Creek is expanding. I just burned the leaves, not the stalk. That makes sense. Makes it want to grow back stronger. Don says, I don't know what you're talking about, tannins and what. I think he's talking about in the chili about that big. Yeah. I think that's what he's talking about. It seriously grows back 2-3 times bigger than it was There is about a 3-week pause of growth, but man, it was worth it for the hot peppers. That's awesome. Chinese diesel heater are awesome, Ed says. Wow. Okay. I so far have not had to deal with that. I do have my let me show you. Right there is my heater, wall heater, and that's on gas, so it shouldn't be an issue. And then this right here is what it controls it, and that's on batteries, so it's not electrically connected, so that should be good. Joy's here. Hello, all from Western Oregon. Hope you are all having a good evening. We are so far, Joy. I just got home from Oregon, and I literally just got home like 10 minutes before us came on, and in the bathroom, set up the computer, and there you go. Hope you're doing good. Dawn says shishito peppers are sweet peppers, not hot. Yeah, so Dawn, you're talking about shishito peppers, and he's talking about a spicy pepper. You guys are talking about two different peppers. Silver Creek says unripe fruit and nuts have tannins like acorns. We can't eat acorns until we cook them because we are cooking out the tannins. Tannins are a type of acid that's in unripe fruit and nuts and seeds. True, but you can actually eat the acorns if you leach them out. They don't have to be cooked. They just need to be leached with water. And so you can actually do that. And when you'll see the squirrels bury acorns, and they're saving it for later. But also what happens when they bury it is the ground is more moist than the top of the ground, right? If they bury in there. So that's actually doing a very slow leaching. So if they come and dig it up, then it has less tannins. If they don't dig it up, it might become a tree. But then also among the oak trees, there is different amounts of tannins. So some of them are at a level that you can, I have bitten into acorns. Some of them are at a level that you can bite into it. You're like, that's not edible. And some of them you bite into it and you're like, okay, you can tell that has a little bit of tannins in it, but if you needed to, you could eat it. So yeah, there is a little bit of difference, but generally that's correct. Yeah. And you were talking about chili pecans. Yep. JJ says to Dawn, I told hubby that he didn't listen, but I do have electric generator with solar for my fridge to keep meds. At least he can't sell my fireplace as it's attached to the house. Okay, there you go. There you go. Yeah. And Amor Soluno says, highly recommend chili pecans. It's a hot pepper, little firecracker that's so tasty, hot and sweet. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I tried it and it was great. And I need to try and plant it again. Oh, okay. So Verna, not just that it's not safe, but propane is also not allowed in apartments in Ohio. Too dangerous. That's how many apartment complexes were torched. That makes sense. Yeah. And Silver Creek says tannins also found in wood. Yep. Depends on what kind. If you ever notice a local body of water that has because of the tannins in the water leached out from the wood and leaves that fall into the water, these tannins are actually really beneficial to the life inside the body of water. They provide antifungal, antibacterial properties for submerged life. Tea colored, yes. Yeah, so that is something that like oak trees, specific all trees, it's not high in all trees, but oak is a specific one around here that has that. It has a high tannin, it has a high tannin content, and you can sanitize thing brown. So there you go. It'll look dirty, but be clean. Yeah. All right. Before we get any further, I am going to remind people that are Katrina's Kits, that are members of Katrina's Kits, that there is a poll, and I haven't looked at it recently, but I believe we're doing next Sunday. And next Sunday for, oh, I don't have the link. Darn. Okay. I think the link is in the description. It should be. But next Sunday, and I will be posting the time in the community post, and it will be for you guys to see only. I will be putting out the ingredients that people need tomorrow evening. And if you want to become one of Katrina's kits and do a cook with me live, that is awesome. And you guys definitely are able to do that. I don't have it readily available. I don't think I do. Darn. Oh, here it is. I found it. Hang on. So this is the link, and hopefully that comes up. And yeah, so we're looking at next Sunday, and I have not seen the poll for the people who are already Katrina's kits today. So I'm just going based on what I saw yesterday. There you go. All right, so that's the reminder. And the topic of discussion today was the eclipse. So I guess we kind of already covered it a little bit early. We'll have more eclipse stuff maybe come up later. We'll see. We'll see what people say about the eclipse. Just thought I'd say that since we already went over stuff. JJ says our generator will be attached to the natural gas line, so it would be good until they outlaw natural gas. Well, that's next. I'm not going to say anything more about that. Yeah, but that's good that you have direct line. That's my heater too. Dawn says, Katrina, I used to run a propane company. Okay, so you know all the stuff. You all know all the stuff. Know what I'm doing. I know which appliances are safe to use it with. That's why I have them. That is good to know. I'm glad you already know this because I was worried. And yeah, do good things and stay safe. Yep. And so you're saying the same thing I was saying. Oak leaves in particular are amazing for life forms that are submerged in the freshwater bodies. They are extremely antifungal and antibacterial. I even use oak leaves in my quarantine tanks for fish. Yeah, and that speaks to kind of what I was saying about you can clean it with clean things with the water. It's been like if you boil, oak leaves in water, like that is something that you can use to clean. It just will dye everything. Silver Creek says it doesn't work well trying to get a picture of the eclipse through a welding hood. The picture from a phone is just a glare. Yeah, you can use, that's the thing I was wondering about with the curve for the welding, but you can put this on on the lens of a camera and get the same thing. This is flat. As long as it's on there flat, it takes a bit to get a good picture, and you'll see tomorrow. And you have to have it sturdy. Like you have to have it standing still on a tripod. Yeah. Dawn says I used a common stove in the bathroom, in the motel room, with the bathroom fan venting out. Good. Made popcorn way before microwave about the ventilation. Silver Creek says maple and elderberry are amazing as well for fish. That is good to know. That's good to know. Elderberry leaves is not something people should eat. I just want to clarify that. People do use it in cosmetics. I do not know how. I just recently learned that like last year. But it's not something you should actually eat. But I think Silver Creek's talking about fish tanks. That's good. JJ says with propane ventilate down to on the ground, the gas is heavier than air and will sink. Just don't have toddler on the floor. Yep. And you cook chicken and rice dinner in that same hotel. Dawn, you're so creative. Ed says slept many a night sandwiched between two emergency blankets in my house trailer. Oh my gosh. Wow. The foil popcorn, Andy's asking. Wow. You're so right, Steve. Peeing warms the wrong pipes. Well, we're not going to discuss that. Oh boy. JJ says we invested in. That's important. It's important to have something that warms you, or that you're able to have that warms, because that's, you're not going to survive otherwise. So yeah. Verna says even in the cloudy, rainy day, it got an eerie look to the air. Yeah. Because it was clear, and actually it had been smoky the day before. Like you couldn't see the sun the day before, and then that day it cleared, and all the smoke settled down on the horizon, so you could see it was like dusk all the way around with that one. It was pretty cool. Don says, JJ ever what? Shot a dog with propane nozzle? I hope not. I hope not. Hopefully the dog's okay. JD says vultures pee on their feet to cool their feet. So why why do I know so much about pee? Kind of scary. Oh, JJ, you're funny. You're funny. Enough here to worry about that. It's rare. We did have the awful snow apocalypse. That killed a lot of people here, but that's the worst we've had. It's usually not bad here. Yeah, I have a cousin who lives in Texas that was there during that, and they were actually chipping ice out of their pool to drink. It was chlorinated. It's safe to drink. It's a little chlorinated, but yeah, and they found out they had all sorts of leaks from the pipes freezing and stuff. So yeah, if just be prepared for your area. That's what I'll say. And JJ's laughing at Don. No. Oh, and laughing back. UMP. All right, I have to scroll up. You guys jumped. I haven't. Oh, there we go. And Silver Creek says the running joke in Texas is we have 2 seasons, summer and February. Welcome. Welcome. Good to see you on here. I hope everything's doing well. Yeah. JJ says, okay, last thing I know about pee. Are you sure? Because if there's one more, you're going to have to tell us. Is that supposedly it takes a sting out of jellyfish stings. I did know that. People saying hi. Bathroom exploded from that critter. Oh boy. Yeah, and I don't know, we got a real answer from you, Ed. Andy Rabbit says silver and February is wreck month. Oh boy. Yeah. Back my customers on the filling dock. You bet. Oh, okay. I was not thinking that was on purpose, but if you're saying it's a protection measure, okay. So, which is good, because otherwise I'd bleep you. Family friendly. Silver Creek says, yes, it is handy. My 37 years in Texas, and it's never prepared for February, ever. Yeah, that's what it sounded like happened, is that they had some options for things that they didn't choose to. Yeah. And JJ says, oh, Don, I would too. Wild dogs are most dangerous. See, we don't have that issue here, but I know a lot of places they do have, packs that are quite wild. So yeah. Oh, Steve has experience. Not true, JJ, on the jellyfish. It's just the water, not the pee. That's an urban legend, but it's fun to tell people it will work. I thought it had something to do with the pH. That's what I thought. I don't know. I've never had need of it. Yeah. And Silver Creek says, it's half mobile homes here. They can't stand freezing temperatures that well at all. Absolutely. Yeah, when you have open exposure to the underside, it's kind of hard. Yeah. Laughing at Steve, good to know. So JJ, you have to come up with one more. You told us you had 3 things you know about pee. I'm joking. Silver says, if we get a true freeze or Texas snow, we don't get real snow. It's in February. And that is the only month we ever get it. I think 2 years out of my almost 40, we've had snow in December. Yeah, we've had snow here a couple times, but it literally is, it just dusts and then it's gone within like 10 minutes. And it's only been a couple times, and early in the morning, I think both times. Yeah. Don says, I had a really bad jellyfish sting, whole arm to the shoulder. Doctor back then coated my arm in baking soda. So basic. That must be basic. Okay. That is good to know for anybody that wants to pet a jellyfish. I'm glad that you got better, because that really sucks. Yeah. Silver Creek says, Texas snow is not like the snow up north. It's wet and more like soft sleet. Okay, that is called something. Not corn snow. It's something else. If my dad's on here, he can say that is. I don't know if he's on here. He knows all about the weather. But there's a name for that. And it's in my head. It's just not all the way. Time with the hubby. Well, thank you for coming, and good luck with your mineral lick containers, because that sounds like a really good find. Figure is the line got clogged and the last straw was the washing machine emptied. I hear gurgling, the water hitting the floor in the bathroom, and that's how. Oh my gosh, Ed. I'm sorry. That really, really sucks. Yeah, I'm sorry. And I'm glad that you're getting it fixed so quickly. Yeah. Smart Dr. JJ says. Yeah. Silver Creek says, so it freezes a lot easier solid and just becomes white ice. At least it's not black ice, because black ice can be extra dangerous. At least you can see it. Yeah. Bob has some countering information. JJ, maybe you might not have to come up with another solution, another pee story. Bob says pee does neutralize man-o-war stings for sure. Capitalized. Been there, done that. I think it's the urea in urine. Well, Bob, I'm going to go with your answer, because that is experience driven. Wow. That is amazing. I am glad you're okay, because I have heard that really, really hurts. Yeah. You guys, if we're coming up with all sorts of like story starters here. Yeah. Oh, Dawn says, I have a good night. I have to leave in 15 minutes. Good night, Dawn. Good night. Thanks for letting us know ahead of time, so hopefully you hear it. Good night. And don't forget the thumbs up, Andy says. All right. I don't know how many thumbs up we have, because I'm on StreamYard. And if there's ways to see it, I can't see it. Silver Creek says, tannins originally, I was talking about unripe peppers, the unripe shishitos. Okay, so we're backtracking our conversations. Got it. Okay, and Steve says, jellyfish sting, soak in the skin in hot water, avoid cold water. Really? To open the pores? Interesting. At least it's good for something, JJ says. Bob. That's great. Oh, it has nothing to do with homesteading, but it's a good conversation. Dawn says to Andy Rabbit, my hubby is down working on the furnace. No screaming or cussing. very quiet. Is he still there? You might want to go check on him. But good. I'm glad it's going smooth. Yeah. And hubbies are quiet. You should check on them. They might be knocked out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And JJ says, glad you trust the hubby with the furnace. There you go. And Steve says, not cussing means it's not broken. He's down there pretending and drinking a beer. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys are funny. Don says, I remember having to give a description of the jellyfish to the doc, color, etc. Since in Maine we had all kinds and was treated for the one that looked like a fried egg. Okay. Yeah, there might be different treatments for different kinds. That's a good point for sure. Yeah. Silver Creek says I tried building a rocket stove out of cob, but our clay here is not the right content for it. Plus, we have too many fire ants. The moment that the clay and straw mixture dried, fire ants took it over. So you made a little apartment for them. How nice of you. Oh, Silver Creek. Yeah, I'm glad we don't have fire ants. I don't want to live in a place with fire ants. They sound terrible. Yeah. And the fact that a rocket stove couldn't even keep them away. Like fire can't keep them away. I know I just read a whole lot into that, but you know. Andy Rabbit says, Don, I hope he can get a few quiet. Absolutely, Andy Rabbit. Silver Creek says made a home out of it. The fire ants did. Worthless is Cobb in Texas. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Don has confidence because he does this type of work, which is good. That's good. Silver Creek says we have straight red clay here, all red clay. We have clay here. I have no idea what kind of clay is, but there's a corner over by where the chickens are. I mean, there was an area that you could almost like make a pot out of it right there, then and there. Yeah, it's not red clay though. Yeah, JJ should be safe. I hope so. Yeah. So Silver Creek says, so gardening is really fun and a constant science experiment. Absolutely. It is a constant science experiment because every year is different and every garden's different. And every time you have more things in the garden and more interactions and different weather, you get to figure out different things. Sometimes something that happened last year does great this year, and sometimes something that happened last year does horrible this year, and there you go. So yeah. That is, and Don says JJ's safer than calling Dummy Furnace Company. He went to his wholesaler. Yeah, that makes sense. If you have the skills, do it. Yeah. Uh-oh. Bob says, hopping off, I have a mama elk screeching at me. She wants her alfalfa cubes. I could feed the herd of 20, but that would be cray. I just feed mama and her yearling baby. Aw. Baby elk. Hopefully mama is happy with her cubes. And Andy Rabbit says, I am the one that fixes our furnace. Yep. And Dawn says we installed it ourselves. That's good. Yeah. So my this thing, the furnace, or the wall heater, that was put in the year I bought the house. So it's 10 and a half years old and doing great. So that's good. Yeah. I've been in the house for a while. Steve says when they sting you, they leave stingers in your skin. Cold water can activate them and they fire into your skin. Warm water, much like warm pee, can keep them from firing. Okay. So you're not saying pee doesn't work. You're saying it doesn't have to be pee. Right? JJ says, I just had to finish plumbing under the kitchen sink and put a light fixture in the ceiling after waiting years for hubby to do it. You know, JJ, you guys saw the fixing a leaky faucet, right? Somebody else was going to do that for a few months. And then I decided, I can make a video about this. I've done this before. I can do it. So I understand it. Silver Creek says, yes, I know tannins are great. The most controversial is apricot seeds. The guy that found out that apricot seeds are good ended up going to prison for life after he turned his research to the FDA. I have heard things about apricot seeds, but I haven't. I have not kept up on anything, so I can't venture an opinion. Yeah. Oh, Steve. Note to self: do not work with apricot seeds, or you go to prison. I'm not sure it works that way. Yeah. Silver Creek says the Hunza people in the mountains of Pakistan is where the research was done. The average life expectancy was well over 110 years, and the woman had no wrinkles at all, 70, 80 years old. Also, the Hunza people had no history of cancer either. The researcher found out the human body that has apricot seeds in it does not allow cancer to survive. Interesting. Supposedly that's why he was put in prison. People say it's poison because the cyanide content, but B12 is cyanide as well. You're just educating us, huh? It's all in the type, B12 being cyanocobalamin. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I haven't read up on it, but hopefully you're right. And Silver says, "Oh, pending on when you do it, I could cook all natural stuff with you. I live by my grill. When you doing it?" Yeah. So the Cook With Me Live is the membership. So if you can join it, and it's a paid membership, and we will be doing that on Sunday. I need to check our I did a poll for the members only for when they want it, so I have to check that, but I believe it's going to be Sunday, this coming Sunday, so in the midday. So that's what it is. I will be posting it on the Friends of Sow and Tare as well when that's happening, so that you guys, if you would like to be involved, you can join and join the membership and then join the live. So here's a link to the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group. It's also in the description if you're watching this later and it's not showing up. Like I said, this is my first time doing like a full live on here, so I want hopefully it records over on YouTube and does all of that stuff. If it does, yeah. So JJ says same thing happens when goji berries. Goji berries. I don't think it's tannins though, is it? Is it other things in that? Yeah. Don says, I can't normal people's recipes. My diet is too clean and restricted. That's okay. That's okay. And there's all sorts of, I mean, you can omit things. That's fine. And Silver Creek says going to deep dive on the goji berries. Verna says, Katrina, I overdid it yesterday. I turned the cooey cage back into the quail 3-tier cage and put a watering system up. It took me until 3 a.m. I woke up this morning hurting from the soles of my feet to the top of my head. Oh my goodness. Verna, if you need to jump off and go to bed, I completely understand. That's amazing. Yeah, hopefully the cooey cage didn't give you as much trouble as last time. But yeah, that's amazing. Does that mean your quail are home? They have a place? That's good. Silver Creek says, when the talk going getting crazy stream. Come on, Katrina, you know this. Hey, I'm good. I'm good. We're good. Hi. What is a multiple of eclipse? There's your quiz. I don't know the answer. They're interesting. They're very interesting, and they historically have driven a lot of timing of things, a lot of magic, a lot of just different activities in human history, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, there's a lot to do with eclipses. Eclipse high? Let me know. Maybe we should vote on this. I'm sure there's a real answer somewhere. JJ says, let me know what you learn. Yeah, let us know for sure. I mean, that's what I like. You can put stuff into the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group. Like, if you're like, oh my gosh, I want to share this right now. But you can always come back next week and share things on here that we talked about before. And I mean, it's mainly as a place where people can continue conversations that we have on here and exchange information and all of that. So definitely that's a cast I'll bring back inside the kerosene heater. Oh boy. Silver Creek says, Verna, that reminds me, I need to do an auto watering system in aviary as well. Silver Creek, if you have not seen my video on, I think it's full guide to animal water, something like that. There's other words in there, but that is a fairly long video, but it is detailed, and you probably already know some of that. But I would watch that, see if that's something you want to do, especially since you're an area that doesn't really freeze. That will work for you. And yeah, I would watch that for sure if you haven't already. And Silver Creek says, will do, JJ. I even change my location and check studies from other countries. I do that with my aquatic plants species profiles, but it's too nerdy, so don't get a lot of views. That's all right. That's all right. JJ says to Dawn, I hate the smell of kerosene, but it saved our lives one winter long ago. Yeah, the necessary evil. Is that what it is? Dawn says, I ate my first serving of black seed Nigella sativa today. It was interesting. Interesting is a good word. Interesting how? Silver Creek says, it was a game changer when I found out that a lot of native plant species that are sold here in the U.S. are also native to Malaysia, yet our government doesn't want us knowing about the stuff in Malaysia because they apparently don't want Americans spending their money in Malaysia. So Silver Creek, there's a guy, don't remember his name right now. He was a special guest at 2019, the Baker Creek, the National Heirloom Expo, and I would recognize him if I saw him. But he is a wild fruit explorer, and he goes worldwide finding native foods that people eat or can eat. And what he does is he learns about them, he tastes them, he looks at the nutrition of them, and then he tries, in a lot of these areas, he tries to help people cultivate the native plants, because we know they grow well there. We know the water is good, the climate is good, it grows there, and it just needs to grow more in a way that is sustainable. And so he's helped put together programs for that. And so that sounds like that might be right up your alley. And I think his name is Joseph, I think, if I remember right. I could be wrong. I'll try and figure out who that is and put something on the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group. Because he does a lot of the native plant cultivation in different areas, or like teaching people, yes, you can eat this. He tries all sorts of stuff that people don't know it's edible too. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and Verna's asking Dawn, how did you feel afterward? And whoops, here we go. Verna says, Silver, that is the same with many things. FDA doesn't want you to know because it would put Big Pharma out of business. I don't know that that's. I think part of it is that the FDA doesn't test things. I think they have the same issue. Now, this is just in my opinion, and everybody has their own opinion. But I think it's the same issue as what happens with canning guidelines, is that there are a lot of things that are tested and a lot of things are like, no, don't do this. But some of the things that they say, don't do this, and you need to look it up because they do have the reasons why they say not to do it. Is this potentially will do this, or this potentially will do that, because it hasn't been tested. And so I think with the Food and Drug Administration, a lot of the stuff probably just isn't tested. And honestly, I would go with Europe's testing over us. I'm not a medical professional, not giving medical advice, but I would go with them over us because it seems like they have stuff banned way before we do. And then we're like, oh, FDA says it's safe. FDA says it's safe. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh, but it's not safe in Europe. You know, they have all these additives that's just my little rant. And who knows what the real reason is, right? And Dawn says she feels excellent. Well, the same. It takes a few weeks. I need to eat it with food. I licked my finger after I ground some and tastes just like strong black pepper. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Silver Creek. I think it could be a multiple of reasons, and I'm saying here that there are a lot of things that FDA hasn't signed off on, and I think it's because they haven't tested it. Because they can't sign off on something they don't test. Well, they shouldn't sign off on something they don't test. Yeah. But I would say if you're looking for something that's been tested, and it has been tested in Europe and it hasn't been tested here, I would say go with whatever Europe has. Again, not medical advice. Just my opinion. And yeah, so Silver Creek says, yeah, that's legit. So we're talking about with the freeze. Had to replace 95% at least of my plumbing in my cabin after the snowpocalypse. Yeah. And that was like out of the blue. I mean, how far? So I know we heard about it in the news. What I would like to know is how far outside of normal is freezing for you guys. Like, you say, you know, it snows every once in a while, but like that was a long time. Like you guys were frozen and stayed frozen for how long was it? Like a month? But how odd is it for it to like freeze and stay frozen for even just a day? Like, I'm just wondering how, I know the government there wasn't prepared for it because they obviously didn't put in all the things that need to be done in like the wind turbines. That was an option they didn't take and all that. But what else was there? Like, were people prepared? I don't know. I don't know what I'm asking. Yeah. Good night, Dawn. Thank you for joining us. And oh, Buster wants to know if Verna has baby bunnies yet. I want to know if Verna has baby bunnies yet. Verna, do you have baby bunnies? Oh, JJ has a potty mouth. Ha 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 ha. Silver says I'm Christian, but I cuss a little. Not on here. Not yet, Verna says. Going to put a nesting box in before you go to bed. What day is it, Verna? Mine get nesting boxes next Sunday, and then they probably won't have them until the next weekend or about then. But yeah, what day is it? And Silver Creek said, thought it had to do with ammonia in your urine. I don't know. It's Ed's false exploding his bathroom. Oh, and you've heard that too. I've heard that too, but I don't. I mean, just because you hear something doesn't mean it's true, and just because someone says something on here doesn't mean it's true. Just because I say something doesn't mean it's true. Hopefully, I'm saying things are true. I believe I'm saying things are true, but it's always good to check, right? Yeah. Silver Creek says, or maybe the nitrogen, considering the urine is mostly consisting of urea, which is nitrogen. I don't know. Simple way of looking at it. Yeah. Slush? No, he's talking. So slush is after it's on the ground. He's talking about something that's coming out of the sky, and there is a name for it. And my dad does know it, and I don't think he's on here because he hasn't listened. He hasn't chimed in. Yeah, there's all sorts of names out there that I didn't know about until my dad got into that. Nitrogen and salt. Silver Creek says, okay. We're going to get more coffee. Either way, white ice or black ice, it's impossible to drive on here. Yeah, and you probably don't, even if you do know how to drive in it, you probably don't want to drive just because of other people, right? Oh, it's 16? Oh, I see the number now. We're to 11 right now. We had 16? Thank you, Brenna. Baking soda draws out stingers. Okay. And Silver Creek says, hey, I'm ADHD or just an overactive human. I have 3 conversations at once on the regular. You know, I keep track of this chat pretty good, I think, considering all the different things going on. Yeah. Silver Creek says, if you don't like fire ants, you're not going to like this. The total weight of fire ants on planet Earth outweigh the total weight of human beings on planet Earth. Now you know. Yeah, but I'm not where they are, so I'm okay. All right, Silver Creek says, so weird and completely off topic subject, but something strange. My pigeons for the last 2 days would barely leave their loft in the aviary. They flew out and on top of the aviary, but did not fly around. That is interesting. Is it since the eclipse? I wonder if you're going to have like some earthquake or natural phenomenon. Somebody in the neighborhood near my parents, has pigeons that I'm pretty sure are the homing pigeons that people have that like you do that just go home because there was tight flock flying around and going back to a place. But yeah, it reminds me of keeping a long-term fish tank. It's all about how much load the system can handle. Yeah, and Silver Creek, as your soil gets better, I don't know how long you've been gardening, but as your soil gets better and better in your beds, something happens. Like on between years 3 and 5, it seems to me like the beds stabilize themselves and are much more productive. And in that year 3 to 5 is when things really get going. And then after that point, if you maintain them, they stay really good. But it takes about 3 years up to 5 years, I think, my experience, to get them to be really good. So that's my personal experience talking. JJ says, backtrack to hot pepper. I grew a pepper called sriracha, and it is like a jalapeno pepper, but not as hot and should be used once it is red. Anyone know anything about those? I have never grown them, but it is what the sriracha sauce is made out of. And that's the only thing I know that it's used for. So sriracha is, it comes in a bottle. I don't know the ingredients because I don't particularly enjoy it. It's fine. It's okay. But if I have something else, I'll have something else. So hopefully somebody else can answer that question. To my knowledge, that's all I know that's used for. I'm sure you could like do a fermented hot sauce or something like that. But hot sauces is what it's used for. Oh, BioLoad. Yeah. Yep. JJ wants to know from Silver Creek, is there a hawk around? I'm gonna sneeze. Maybe. We'll find out. Yeah, and Verna's saying, JJ, that is the one they use to make sriracha sauce with. Yeah. JJ says, yes, you inspired me to get off my behind and do all the plumbing. Yay! Yay! Oh, JJ. It's easy. As long as you take pictures or videos and you know that you're going to be without a sink for here until whenever, and you pre-plan those things. It is easier if you have a shutoff directly to the sink instead of to the house like I do. I would never design it that way. And newer houses are designed much better, but you can have that actually put in as well if it's not a wall faucet. Because well, let me know how it comes out. Yeah, let me know how you did. That sounds good. I'm glad I'm inspiring you to plumb. All right. Silver Creek says, JJ, red tails came in with a cold front, but the crows outnumber them, so they don't stick around for long. They usually aren't scared of hawks, but can fly them. Seriously, my pigeons will fly circles around a hawk because you're behind. Oh, because I'm behind. Apricot seeds again, because that's where you just were. The women in the Hunza region would peel the skin off the seed, use the germ, crush it, extract the oil, and apply to skin. Okay, so kind of like how moringa's used in that way. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if the pigeons aren't leaving home, something's happening. I believe that they definitely know what's happening weather-wise and earthquake-wise and that kind of stuff. I've been in areas that there's like a silence right before things happen. So pay attention. Something might be happening. Stock up on your water and stuff. Yeah, and good luck. Hopefully nothing happens, but I believe they know what's going on. JJ says crows are cruel and will eat eggs and attack nesting birds to death. Yes, they will. Do you think it could be the crows bothering them? I've seen pigeons around crows and they generally don't. It's generally not that, but yeah. Oh, Verna says 2 more likes and you'll have 20. Awesome. Awesome. I can't see it on here, but that is awesome. All right. And Silver Creek says crows don't bother pigeons at all. They attack the hawks and other large birds around here. Nothing smaller than they are unless it's dying. Yeah. So pigeons are a flock animal, and so they are much more difficult for predators to pick out unless it's a peregrine falcon. Come on. But yeah. And JJ's saying let me start over. If that is so, I am excited to make some hot sauce from those peppers. Yeah, that's what they're used for. Something in my brain is telling me that Living Traditions did that on a video. Check that out. I might be wrong, but I think Living Traditions Homestead did that. I think they fermented one, maybe? I don't remember, and I don't know why that's in my head. It was either this year or last year. Maybe. If it exists. Crows are friends here. Yes, you do not want to mess with crows because they will know who you are and they will react accordingly. If you bother them, they will bother you. Yes. Sir Creek says they're only territorial to birds around the same size or larger to them. If something is circling around, try trying to scavenge food, they will drive it off. Yep. The red-tailed hawks are what I was worried about. They are savage. I had one dive onto the top of the aviary just last week trying to get a pigeon inside the aviary. It was crazy. Had to help it loose. And yeah, I know Jasmine with Time and Timber had an issue with hers that I don't remember what kind of hawk it was, but it was a hawk that was actually opening it. It figured out how to open her. It was I think she was using a slide bolt for her grow out cages, and figured out how to open that. And I was told her, I'm like, here's the locks I use. Use a hasp lock. Put a carabiner in it, or use a gate lock and put a carabiner in it. There you go. And Steve has the answer. Eclipses. Okay. All right. Now we know. JJ said, I had a group of crows. A group of crows is called a murder. Had a murder of crows. Swoop into my front yard tree and attack all the nests, including my favorite robins and doves, and killed them and ate their eggs. It was a first. What time of year was this, JJ? I mean, obviously it was nesting time. I'm just wondering, like, because usually what happens with crows is they have their nests, and then later on in the nesting season, the teenagers will just make these bands and travel around. And I'm wondering if that maybe was a teenage group of crows. Yeah. Silver Creek says, sorry. But blackbirds are everywhere right now. Over the past few days, it's been a murder of them daily. Again, murder is a group of crows. And says, oh wow, JJ, that's nuts. I'm sorry. Yeah, that sounds like a big one. And JJ says, it was the first I knew about them being that mean. So they are judicious. They will do what they need to do. And if you are mean to them, they will make sure that for the rest of their life, they know that you were mean to them. So they definitely know. They definitely remember. Let's just say that. Silver Creek says, I wonder if it was because of a drought or lack of food. They're usually helpers. Super smart birds, smarter than us, can speak more languages than us. Yes, they can. And that's why I was thinking that it might be like a teenage group. Steve says crows are natural predator of robin. They're natural predators of eggs. Kill a robin just to eat a robin. But they might be. And yeah, it's not a channel, Silver Creek. He said, oh, I'd love to know that channel, Joseph. I'll keep my eye out. Sounds up my alley. It's not a channel. He doesn't have a YouTube channel because he doesn't have time to do that. He has a book, and I will find it. I will figure it out, and I will put it in the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group because he does a lot. He was amazing to listen to. I mean, he basically had a slideshow going of all the stuff all the places he'd been, and all the, the different fruits he found and all of that. And Baker Creek has a lot of fruits from his discovery. Obviously, they existed before in these communities, but they were not brought to the world until he brought seeds out into the world. And so now part of what Baker Creek, rareseeds.com, rareseeds.com, part of what they do is to keep seeds going for different varieties as a preservation. So yeah, I will look him up. I don't know. His name might not be Joseph. I'll have to look it up. Yeah. Hey, Diana, Tall Top Farms here. Hello. Welcome. Hey, all. Got a question. I'm getting there. All right, we're gonna scroll down to Diana. We'll go back to everybody else. Die, and then it looked like something had eaten on it while they. Oh, will they eat a dead quail, or do you think a mouse or something else might got in there? So Diana, yes, they will. They will cannibalize after something's dead. However, if you have a space that a mouse's skull can fit through, a mouse can get in there. And if it was like the vent area, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard they go after. It's a soft area. They can start there. So I would definitely check your I think you have cages, right? I would definitely check your cages for a space that a mouse head can fit through. Because so remember that with mice and rats and probably weasels, although I'm not sure that's true. With mice and rats, if their skull can fit through, their whole body can fit through. So that's something to think about when you're building or maintaining or any of that. So it very well could have been a mouse, but they do also cannibalize once the one has passed, which is why it's important to take them out, pretty right away. All right, everybody saying hi to Diana. JJ says Germany tests tons of herbs and uses them. Exactly, JJ. And that's what I'm saying is that other places, especially Europe, have tested some of these things, and they're I don't know if it's that they have a wider history or they have more money to test things or what, but they definitely have tested more things than we have in the United States. Um, yeah. Silver Creek says I'm extremely and I highly accentuate the word extremely anti-big pharma and anti-government and agriculture. I've watched Big Dove destroy huge farms around my area and rip apart the lives of them. Wow. Yeah. There's a lot of story to be had, and I'm going to leave it as that because I don't want to get into politics. But if you've seen stuff firsthand, or you've seen stuff happen to your neighbors, that's definitely there's stuff that's going on. Yeah. Um, yeah. So yeah, it's so Verna, you're saying the FDA standards are not the same as other testing standards. That may be true. I don't know what their standards are. Um, JJ says if you live long enough, chances are you're not too happy with pharma. Oh boy. And Silver Creek says I'm an advocate of Joel South and 200%. I don't agree with everything he says. Yeah, I don't agree with everything he says. However, he does know how to grow animals, and I agree with. But when it comes to growing animals, absolutely, or pastures. Diana, oh, I just read yours. You had enough run-ins to know better. um, and JJ, 3 tornadoes. Sorry, I just saw something about tornadoes. Hopefully, no one's in tornado area. Um, JJ says, yeah, I've had personal experience. And who decided? Yeah, I'm only reading part of this. Yeah, I mean, you can go elsewhere for medical stuff, and I'm not going to advise anybody to do anything medically. But yeah. Steve wants to know how can you be prepared when your only form of heat is electric, and the power grid goes down for several weeks in freezing temperatures. That is an excellent, excellent question. Um, and that's part of my concern when I say that a lot of places, and I know this is happening in California where I am, they don't allow wood heaters or wood any sort of wood heating. So fireplaces, they're not allowed to have any of that in your house or whatever. Um, that's something that we should probably have a conversation with. Maybe we make that the topic for next week. I don't know. What do you guys think? Personally, I don't worry about it too much where I am because I do have gas. I do have a gas furnace. Where my parents are, they are on all electric and they do have a fireplace. So that is, and there's been power outages in the wintertime, and what they do is they have a fire in the fireplace. But I think it would be an interesting thought exercise to go through the things you can do when you don't have a fireplace and when you only have electric heating. And there's a lot of stuff that you can do that I don't know. Yeah, there are solar powered generators that can run heaters. So that's where I would personally start, is if you're in an area that only has electric, I would definitely have that. However, solar power doesn't power everything. So you might have gas generators and stuff like that. But maybe we have that as a conversation for next week, because that sounds like something that we should discuss before it becomes an issue, right? Remind me that's our discussion topic for next week. Sound good? All right. In the meantime, don't run out of power. Verna says to Diana, did it look like pecks or bite marks? It could depend on what it looks like. Exactly. It isn't 30 days until the 18th. Okay. So, but you have the nest box in. Or you will. Yeah. I put the nest box in a day, I forget what, 26? Is that right? I don't remember. 24 or 26. And they usually don't have them until, we're talking rabbits now. We usually don't have them until like pretty close to 30 or 31 is usually. So the two rabbits that I have there should be pregnant right now, Ravioli and Rigatoni. This will be their first kindling, which is what you call giving birth for rabbits. And so this will be their first one. So fingers crossed. And Verna says, I put the nest box in. If it looks like she is just chewing on it, I will take it back out before I go to bed. Yeah. So they almost all of the kindling that has happened here has happened, I believe, early morning, like just after midnight or around midnight. I had one happen in the afternoon, but other than that, it's all been in the nighttime. So, and this is their first time. I'm in the same boat you are right now, Verna, because this is their first time. They don't know what they're doing. But I have had them do a nest and, pull fur that night. It hasn't happened a whole lot of times, but it has happened. Yeah. Dinah says, I don't look like it was a chunk taken out of the back hip, but I really couldn't tell if it was being picked on or something fitted. So, well, we already disposed of it. Just kind of curious. Yeah, Diana, I would check and see if you have any gaps that you were unaware of, and go from there. Yeah. And okay. Yeah, and Verna says I am more apt to think it was a pest, not another quail. Yeah. Diana, did you post pictures in the quail groups? I saw that recently. Somebody had that question. I don't remember who it was. We're talking about a quail. Diana has quail. Holes in the holes in the hip area usually due to overmating. No, we're not talking about It's dead. It's not feather loss. It's dead. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, it was a Coturnix quail. Oh, Chloe was on. I didn't know you were on, Chloe. Good night. I hope you had a good time on here. Since the eclipse, I wonder if the eclipse freaked him out. So we're talking about Silver Creek's pigeons again. I wonder if the eclipse freaked him out. That could happen for sure. Yeah. I didn't sneeze, did I, Silver Creek? It's still in there. It needs to come out. Yeah. Okay, and Verna says she learned how to repair the Wynola Ranch water trough. So that sounds good. Yeah, I haven't used the water. Well, let me try that again. I have not used the water troughs. I think they sound like a really great idea for a cage setup. It sounds like a really bad idea for a aviary setup to me, because I think they would kick things in it, and then if you plug it, it plugs all of it. Or if you have the individual cups, I have the ones with the plungers. If they do kick things into it, which they do somehow, I don't know how, you can just clean it out and it's fine, and they have other ones that they can drink from. So that's my reasoning, and I don't have anything to support it other than opinion. I don't have any experience with that. Yeah. Silver Creek says, I'm good on water. That's the reason that I moved to the area I'm in. We have a spring that is so deep, I have dived in and never touched the bottom. Wow. That's awesome. We always have water. That is awesome. 25 years, never gone dry. Awesome. Yeah, brag too much and you send a challenge to the universe, Verna says. Well, we will hope that it's that he continues to have water. Oh, you don't remember the time of year, JJ, for the crows? Yeah, it might. If it was later in the summer, I'm wondering if it's the teenage crows. Yeah. Silver Creek says, laughing at Verna. Oh, you voted many to this area to join to commune. Oh boy. You're inviting. All right. JJ says, I heard a mouse can get through a dime-sized hole. Yeah, and I mean, there's baby mice too, right? So that's something to look out for. I don't know. Baby mice have smaller skulls. Silver Creek says, so speaking of seeds, a family member of mine owns Mountain Valley Seeds, which is now known as True Leaf Market. All right, I've heard of that. All heirloom and organic seeds, and record holders as well, nationally recognized. That is awesome. That is awesome. Silver Creek, if you want to put something in the Facebook group about that, then that would be okay. Because it is time to get. Hopefully, you guys have started your seeds. I haven't started my fall seeds yet. I'm doing that this week. I was going to do it the weekend before, and then this weekend, and I went on a trip. Hopefully, you guys have your fall seeds started, or at least thinking of starting. Yeah. But that would be an option. I like Baker Creek with rareseeds.com. I like Territorial Seeds is good out of Oregon. There's several of them. There's several of them out there that are really good. But yeah, it's good to know. All right. Verna says, mice, rats, weasels, and ferrets. Rule of thumb. If their head fit, they can get in. Yep. Diana, you are welcome. You are welcome. And Verna has used True Leaf Market. Yep. And Silver says True Leaf is among the top 3 seed buying sites for folks like us on the interwebs. That's good. And Verna's joining. Verna is agreeing with JJ. Dime size is the mouse head size. Okay. That's your sister-in-law's family that owns it? That's awesome. Um, yeah, so Silver Creek is saying with Joel Salatin's style, it's his crop rotations and the way he rotates his livestock with the crop that I am interested in. That is the old way, the original way, and the best way, in my opinion, the most sustainable. Yeah, yeah. And goes on to say a complete knowledge of all things around you and your surroundings on a seasonal basis, being able to look at the position of the sun and know what you should plant. That is agriculture. Yeah, yeah. That, like I said, Joel Salatin, I don't agree with everything he says, like politically, but as far as growing things, he knows what he's talking about for sure, for sure. Um, and JJ stepping away. Um, Silver Creek says, I see it as no matter what religion or faith or spirituality, whatever, I don't care, you follow. Uh, our first task was to take care of this planet and love the animals so much we name them. There we go. There we go. Berna says, yeah, the price of solar power generators is so darn expensive. It is. It is. And that's why I think this week you guys should think about, and I will think about ways that someone who is only on electricity, who doesn't have a fireplace or other wood burning thing, can heat, because that is important. And we'll come up with some ideas. I think that's a good discussion to have next week. Silver Creek says solar digestion is horrible. What they do with solar panels that don't work anymore, or windmill blades that are out of commission. Yeah, there is no such thing as a green energy. There's just better green, or there's. You have to decide when you're going into these energies what you're impacting, because something's going to be impacted. Yeah. Yeah, you say bury them in the ground, not sustainable. Yeah. So again, you're going to have an impact. You're just deciding what impact you're going to have, and hopefully that impact is less impactful than things like coal. Yeah. Oh, Steve, what are the names of the two new girls? We don't have them yet. We don't have them yet. I'm gonna wait until November, and then we're gonna name them. Is that too long? They don't have names yet. They're still developing their personalities with me, um, getting used to them and all of that. Of course, I haven't been here for a few days, but I have been. So we're talking about the two new girls are Tortellini's two daughters who were meant for food, and then that changed the course of their life when their mom died, and I decided to keep them as breeders. So they don't have names yet. They are a cross between Tortellini, who is a Black New Zealand, and Parmesan, who is a Californian, and they look like mom. So they actually have a little bit of white in with their fur as well. And yeah, so they look mostly like mom. And yeah, so the bunnies don't have names yet. We will have a contest. Here, don't get me wrong, I'm not on that path. Just saying it's being done wrong. Yeah, it could go a lot smoother and go a lot better. But I think we're still establishing how that looks. I think that's my opinion. Yeah. Verna says, I haven't seen any signs of her pulling fur. I figure that will happen just before she delivers. Yeah, sometimes, so we're talking about rabbits again. Sometimes it happens right before, and sometimes it happens several days before. So, yeah, I think if day 30 is on the 18th, I would leave the nest box in with her. Yeah. And Verna says, I will keep the box overnight and see what happens. As long as she isn't using it as a litter box, I may keep it in. Yeah, so the key to that, Verna, is so she should have a bathroom area. As long as you don't put the box in the bathroom area, you should be good. if you put the box in the bathroom area, it will become a bathroom. So, keep it out of whatever corner she's chosen for that, and you should be good. Yeah. Silver Creek says solar is 100% out of my price range. I could never afford it. Yeah, I got solar in the house, and I did not get enough. I did not get enough for sure. And the only reason why I was able to get it, and I don't have a battery. We talk about that later. The only reason why I did it is because the interest rate was ridiculously low. It was a loan system, but the interest rate was ridiculously low. And my only debt is my solar system and my house. So that's the only debt I have. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and Verna says, I agree. Katrina Aviaries is not a good place for troughs. The troughs are made for when they put their head outside the cage to drink. Absolutely. Lots of noise from rabbits. Uh-oh. Steve says, why couldn't you use the trough on the outside of the aviary in a protected area? I could, I guess. I don't see a reason to change, though. There's birds on the outside. There's cats on the outside. There's, rats that come through, possums. So I just don't see a reason to change it. You could do that, but then my birds will have to stick their heads through the aviary, and then that will open up stuff for, mice and rats and things. So I'm not doing that. Diana says, oh, I forgot to take pictures. This is the first time it's kind of happened, so I will watch for any pests. Yeah. And you might, Diana, if that wasn't you that put the picture, it literally was like, I think it was this last week or this weekend. I think it was this last week that I saw it. Somebody else in here might be able to confirm which group it was in, because I don't remember. I don't remember which group it was in, but somebody put that on one of the Facebook groups, the quail Facebook groups. Yeah. Verna says, all my seeds for sprouts came from Mountain Valley Seed. I've heard of that. Do they only do sprouting seeds? Yeah, in Utah. Okay. And Verna says, and Ohio is about the worst place for solar power because the lack of sunny days. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I mean, solar power works when there's solar, but it doesn't work if it's, snowing and snowing and snowing and snowing and snowing, which is kind of what I think Steve was implying is, what do you do when you can't, when you don't have these things available? Yeah. Verna says, I refuse to name food, only breeders. Exactly. Some people do. I name the breeders, and that is it, and they are treated like pets. So yeah, I don't name the quail. The chickens are pets that poop breakfast, but the rabbits, the breeders, get names. So those two will get names. They just not yet. Verna says, I did not put it in the bathroom area. I put it in the side. She lays in the most. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, as long as it's not in the bathroom area, she should be fine. Wow, guys, we talked for 2 hours. I hope everybody enjoyed this, and I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a while, but I know I talked to you guys last week because I was gone for several days. So I hope you guys are all doing good, and I hope those people that saw the eclipse got a good viewing, or I know some people said that it was cloudy, but it's okay. We'll get another chance in April, right? In April, I think it's 24th. Somebody can check that date. Don't need to do right now, but I think April 24th, I think, is the total. There's another total eclipse, and that is worth seeing. I will tell you, that is worth seeing. I saw a total eclipse in 2017, and it was really, really cool. Yeah. So I think we're going to be signing off here unless anybody else has something fun or pressing or whatever. And some of the topics here, if you guys want to continue that on the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group, that is great. And yeah, so hopefully you guys are doing good. See, people are saying good night. Catch you later. All right. Good night, guys. We will see you next Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And if you are one of Katrina's kits, or you would like to be one of Katrina's kits, pay attention to the community tab, and I will try and remember to put stuff in the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group as well. And I believe we're cooking next Sunday. So I will see you next Sunday if you are one of Katrina's kits. Thanks for coming. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the evening. Bye, guys.